The Pfaff Quilt Expression 720 sewing machine comes loaded with feet and accessories. So I'm just going to go through a few things about all the feet that come with it so you know what to expect. Of course, visit your Pfaff retailer because there are so many other feet that can be added to this machine. So you can expand a lot of its uses, from rufflers, couching feet, hemmer feet, gathering feet. Oh my gosh, the list goes on and on. We do lots of feet in our Pfaff. We do lots of feet in our Pfaff Stitching Cosmos course, and this is a great way to get the most out of your machine. But let's talk about what comes with the machine because it's actually very well equipped. So first off, the accessory box can stay on the machine and hold all your accessories. Sometimes if this machine is in a cabinet, just slide that accessory box off and then put it in a drawer. But you can definitely stay organized and make sure you always bring your feet and accessories with you to classes so you always have the best at your fingertips. So first off, what the machine will tell you with your stitch you pick which foot to put on, and they're all labeled. So they'll say like 0A, that would be for the straight stitch. Another thing with feet is that some of them have the little opening at the back end, and that is for the dual feed to come down and click into place. So make sure that if the foot has that opening, that is engaged, and that symbol is right here on screen as well. So for example, this foot does not have that opening. This is the 8 foot, and you'll use this foot for some of your decorative stitches and your sideways motion stitches, because as we go side to side, we need a foot that can track on the fabric and touch all the feed dogs all at once. Some of your decorative stitches will call for 2A, so I always watch right there at the machine to tell me which foot I should be using. Number 3, and may I note, it has a little red marker that is an adjustable guide. You can use this for overlock stitches, blind hems, and even some top stitching when you want to align up with an edge and then move your needle left or right. There are actually 2 buttonhole feet. The 5M is the manual buttonhole foot, and I want to show you something about this foot. It has a little hook on the back, and that's so you could do corded buttonholes. Yes, we'll show you how to do those. But for this foot to fit into the box, there's a little hole in the accessory box. Let me show you a little bit close up. Here we go. You can see that little hole. That's where it actually needs to sit for the box to actually close. So that foot must actually be in that slot. Otherwise, it doesn't fit. So good to know. All right, 1A and 0A, very similar but different. So again, your machine will tell you when to use those. Number 4 is a zipper foot. Now I'm holding it exactly the way it needs to go on the machines because the little kind of forks or trident looking needs to fit to the back because that dual feed or IDT that needs to come down, that comes either on the left side or the right side. So make sure you don't have your zipper foot on backwards like many people do. Okay, that's not you. All right, the last foot here, this is your 6A foot. This is for doing darning or free motion quilting. There are other feet for free motion quilting too, so check and see which ones are right for you. A few other things that came with this machine is, almost forgot because it slipped down, is the 1/4 inch foot. Also with that opening in the back for IDT, but 1/4 inch marks all the way around so you can easily find an 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 inch, whatever you're working with. This Pfaff machine also comes with a presser foot lifter. So this part here does fit right underneath. There's a place right underneath here that's a hole. It goes in at a slight angle and allows your knee to lift and lower the presser foot. So I'll show you how that actually works also. Some other basic accessories. Oh, by the way, the buttonhole foot, that is the automatic one, fits back here in the back of the accessory box. That actually plugs in and automatically does the exact buttonhole length that you need. So I love that that's actually back here. There's also a seam guide that you can slide into the little hole on the back side of this foot and have it be adjusted. So you can actually get a wider seam allowance than even what your throat plate has pre-marked. Speaking of throat plates, this is the best. So this is actually a straight stitch throat plate. That means that as soon as I put it on, number one, it is censored. So this machine will know if this plate is on, making sure that you don't pick, for example, a zigzag stitch. If this plate is on, it will come up with a message and give you just a straight stitch so you don't accidentally break a needle. Isn't that brilliant? So thank you, Pfaff, for putting a censored straight stitch throat plate. That's good for also piecing or free motion quilting. I always put that on when I'm doing straight line center needle position work. I get a more accurate stitch. Usually that's purchased separately, so definitely enjoy it. So we are about ready to start threading up. So we need to talk spool caps. In this machine comes a couple different sizes. This is like a medium size. So if my spool cap has that end, I need to put that on when I place that on my spool pin. And then that way it holds the thread in place and not to help it really jump off the spool. So that we'll leave on. There's bigger ones and a smaller one. So depending on your spool, that would be what you need to pick. You have a screwdriver for taking the needle in and out, a brush. Most important thing, yep, you got to clean the machine out because lint and fibers from your fabric and thread are all going to get in there. Seam ripper, always handy. I always keep one in with my machines. Thread net. Now, this is something that most people don't use or need ever, but the other day somebody said, oh, I need to get one. I said, well, there was one with your machine. Oh, okay, I didn't know that. But sometimes we're working with metallic threads or slippery threads or threads that are just not behaving. Slip a little thread net over the whole spool and watch the magic kind of take and tame that thread. So don't throw that out. Keep that close by. You never know when you need it. This is a multi-purpose tool. It has 3 uses. Number one, there is a hole for your needle. So when you want to, if you drop your needle in, by the way, it has a flat side on the back here. So when the needle goes in, it doesn't spin. That will help assist for putting the needle in the machine, or vice versa. When you take the needle out of the machine, slide that under the needle, loosen the screw, and the little tool will catch it. Notice that I don't have my hands all the way underneath the housing of the machine. It's really easy to get in and get my needle in and out. So it's like a little extra holder. Next, you notice there are 2 different thicknesses to this. So when I'm going up and over seams, this is a great one to help you kind of reach that top plateau and help keep the foot level. We'll go over those uses here in the videos, as well as it will assist for sewing on buttons. So if you need a little shank of thread in between your button and the fabric, so it will button to another piece of fabric, this is your spacer. You can have little space or lots of space, whichever side you decide to use. A little 2 things left here. We have a small little screen cleaner and also a stylus. So this stylus actually can assist you make adjustments on screen instead of using your fingernail, but there is a place that it goes. So if you put the wider end down and the pointy end up, right on the side of the machine, you can come over here and it's got a little place that it clicks in and holds. You just have to remember that it's over there because it kind of hides, but that is where you can store it for easy finding. There is actually a hole in the stylus. 2 things. Number one, put a little ribbon through it. Sometimes it's a little easier to hold on to and find or locate when you're using it and you set it down. But you know what it was for me the other day? It was like a bodkin where I put some ribbon through here or elastic and I thread it through my casing and then out the other side and I just pulled the ribbon right on through with my stylus. Score. So good little tip there. Okay, so I think we're ready to start going through all the accessories. I'm going to put all of the items into this accessory box so they're right where I can find them, right close by to the machine. Let's get started with threading up the sewing machine.